All right. It's Sunday afternoon. Happy Sunday, everybody. What's good? We're live. We're living the dream, baby. All right. So, hope everyone's enjoying the weekend. You know, I am. What I do today? This morning I woke up, I went for a bike ride, little mountain biking action, and then came home, washed the Raptor. Raptor was looking a little dirty, did a little wash on the Raptor, and then did some work on the computer, made a video for you guys. If you haven't watched that yet, there's a new video on the channel, go check that out. And I got a massage. That was nice, little massage. And yeah, here we are. It's almost 6 o'clock. Futures are opening up in 10 minutes for the new week open. We got a lot of action this week in terms of data coming out. What do we got? Let's look at the big action this week right now. Pulling up the just investing.com here. All right, this week. In terms of action, just go to the filter and just filter out all this crap here. We don't care unless it's 3 stars, baby. We want 3 stars only. All right. So looking at Monday, we've got S&P Global Services PMI number at 945 for Monday here. 945 numbers on Monday. We got 10 a.m. numbers on Tuesday. Then we've got 8 a.m. numbers, 10 a.m. numbers, and then we have the FOMC interest rate, Fed interest rate decision. So FOMC statement at 2 o'clock, and then the press conference. I feel like, you guys ever, like, do you feel like it just like, it's like every week? Like, I don't know. It's funny, like, I swear to God, it's like the market, it goes by, time goes by so quickly or something, and it's like, all right, here we are, another FOMC press conference. Like every week I feel like there every other week pretty much. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, it'll be a lot of volatility this week. FOMC on Wednesday, and then you got initial jobless claims on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. You got core durable goods, and then you got the core PCE price index there on Friday as well. So pending home sales, I would say there's a lot of action on the way, my friends. We're going to have a wild week of possibly choppy, crazy, up, down, all around. Who really knows what's going to happen? We had a big sell-off there on Thursday. Also on Friday, kind of giving up gains as well. So we'll see how this kind of daily chart sets up, and we'll kind of see how this plays out. So we just pull up the daily chart on the NASDAQ. Well, you can see we're kind of pulling back into this previous area of resistance there. We kind of talked about this already, that 15,470, 460 area on the daily chart. So overall, I mean, let's just get rid of the indicators for now. We can see kind of where we're at. I mean, you would think maybe a little bit more of a dip down. We kind of take out, maybe we kind of do one of these, and then we get that next push. We've been kind of trending, so. Or we just go, oh, straight down. That's what the bears say. That's what every bear on Twitter is saying right now. That's how exactly. It's like, here's the trend line, right? And then this week we're gonna go wee straight down like that. So I don't know. That just seems a little bearish. Just seems a little bearish here. Back to 13,000. I don't know. I mean, as long as I think as long as we kind of hold this trend line for now, we'll stay bullish. And you can see the market's basically since what? You know, May, April, been basically in this kind of channel, just kind of heading higher here. So that's the kind of the NASDAQ right now. I don't know. I'm not like, this whole, like, I don't know. I've been through the market long enough to know that it's like every year, you know, you got people basically crying about, Oh, the market's overvalued. Oh, the market's going to crash. Oh, it's all going to zero. And every year, the same thing happens. It just goes higher. So we'll see. Right now, it is 5:54. We got a little bit of time, 6 minutes until the actual Sunday open here. I'm not sure I'm going to take a trade. We'll find out. I don't really have any, I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to take a trade, but if we see something, you know, looking crazy, maybe I'll just go full port, baby. Full port, 15 contracts, all in, all the time. I had somebody on Twitter, my favorite, not on Twitter, but on Instagram, somebody like responding to one of my videos. They're like, this guy is just a gambler. He's trading 15 contracts. He's just a gambler. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, so that's what you figured out? You figured out that I'm a gambler because I'm trading 15 contracts. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. If I could, I would trade 50 contracts, to be honest. You know, like literally. I would take 50 contracts. Give me 100 contracts. Fuck it. YOLO. YOLO, baby. 100 contracts. YOLO. The thing is, like, here's the thing, right? It's very simple. If you get in on a breakout, if you get in on a setup, it doesn't matter how many fucking contracts you got. It literally means nothing. If your setup is there, we're getting the breakout, we're getting the move, and everything's lined up, like, it means absolutely nothing. If you take 5 contracts, 10 contracts, 20 contracts, 100 contracts. If you're jumping in when the market's moving and there's action, the market's going to go up. YOLO, you know, YOLO. So, 1 million contracts, baby. All right. If you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to buy the bottom, you're trying to short the top, yeah, I would be afraid, you know, of trading with large size. But if you know what you're doing and you have a strategy and you actually, like, you know what you're pretty much, if you know what you're doing, the sizing really means nothing at that point. So, Patrick, how do you know that liquidity has been swept or that it is safe to enter trade after? Price action, my friend. I mean, you know, we'd never, I don't know. That's a very vague question. I mean, every single move is a little different. You know, we're looking at those levels on the book map or looking at the price action. There's no perfect answer to that, my friend. Once you pass the combine, moving into a fund account, is your account suspended until the next business day? I mean, if you pass the combine on a Monday, you'll normally get your express fund account info by like Tuesday, you know, midday, maybe like 11, 12. So I wouldn't say it's suspended. It just takes, you know, a little bit of time to get it all set up and swapped over, but I wouldn't, yeah. Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. All right, we got about 2 minutes here till the market opens. Just kind of looking at the NASDAQ right now. Looking at the the ES here on Friday, how it played out on the 15-minute chart there on Friday, kind of getting stuck at that downward trend multiple times, breaking to the downside there end of day, and kind of broke through the low of day there as well. So kind of, I would say just kind of a choppy consolidation move there on Friday. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff happening this week. Wednesday, FOMC, interest rate decision. It's going to be wild. You got Thursday numbers. You got Friday numbers. You got numbers. You got big numbers basically every single day in terms of data. So, you know, expect the unexpected, my friends. Basically, just get ready for the wild west of trading. Lots of numbers, lots of people talking, lots of action. So, Isaiah, when you're looking for an entry besides momentum, how do you know that the consolidation has ended before the breakout? And you never know for sure, my friend. That's why we wait for the breakout. Once the breakout happens, that's confirmation that we're breaking out. Here we go. Market is open. It's 6. What is it? There it is. 6 o'clock. Let's go. I need your love. Ooh, the sun won't shine. Futures late now. NASDAQ popping open here. We're open. It's open. It's open. The NASDAQ up there to the 62s. We had that high there, 68 level there on Friday so far. So see how that kind of plays out there. I think possibly push up there to like, I don't know, maybe like 60, maybe the 70s if it wants to squeeze straight up here. On the book map, kind of looking. It's not the book map. That's not the book map. Where's the book map? Somewhere. I'm gonna readjust this. But right now, you can see here on the NASDAQ trying to push up there through the 68s. I think it kind of wants that 70 level with that push up here now. So there's the 70 push. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. He's too good. Too good. You guys haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. Let's go. Need to pull up the book map here. Window capture. Book map. Where's the book map? Book map. Book map. There we go, the book map. So we saw that 70 liquidity sitting there on the book map. It got taken out, taken out. Is it taken out or taken out? Taken out. And pushed all the way up there to a high of 71 so far. After that, you got 75 liquidity. This is like we talked about on Friday. Really good example. You know, what we're looking for on the book map is we're looking for key levels when these areas of liquidity are sitting there and not really moving up or down, right? So you have this area right there, 75, just sitting there, right? So that's like, okay. And you got this big chunk of liquidity there at the 70s. These areas of liquidity are just sitting there on, those are just orders just on the book, just sitting there, right? Not much going on below us right now. That would, you know, kind of lead me to believe that we push up there, take out that 75 liquidity. Now, obviously, this is not financial advice, but the market basically is looking to facilitate trades. That's the whole purpose of the market. The market's looking to facilitate trades, buyers and sellers, right? So if we know that there's sellers at 75, there's not much, well, there's buyers sitting here at 66 now. It kind of lets you see, and what you can see right now is look at that, how they're kind of selling into those buyers. They pushed it back up. Those 70s are sitting there still. And what's interesting, look at this little, like, kind of a little bull flag here on the chart right now. So we'll see if this is going to hold the VWAP and push up there above the 70s. And like I said, that 75 level up there next. So above the 70s, we've seen if it'll take out that 75 liquidity up there next. Obviously, this is, you know, Sunday, low volume, anything can happen. Someone wants to sell 100 contracts, this thing's going to move. So just obviously be aware of that. We're trading the NASDAQ. Jordan Weaver just hit his profit target in the trade combine. What'd you do? What'd you place it? This guy's killing it. Guy's killing it. Am I growing my hair? I mean, I'm just growing. But people love my hair. My hair's, there's more conversation about my hair than anything. What are the rules when you get the real funded account? Pretty similar to the combine, to be honest. Just kind of the same rules, basically. All right, there's that 70 level sitting there on the book map right now, liquidity-wise. If we look here at the NASDAQ, this is the ES, actually. Looking at the ES also looking like it wants to push up here. I would say the ES kind of looking for that 69 area to push up. Kind of interesting. You got the NASDAQ at the 70s. You got the ES here at the 67s. How'd they do that? How did they possibly do that? Back to the NASDAQ now, looking here, 66s. So once you pass the $9,000 mark, you'll be funded to keep that 9K with Topstep. Do you keep that? No, you get switched into the Express funded account. Helena, what do I think about Quant Tower? I don't really have anything against them. I think I just end up, I end up using the Trade-Evade platform just because it's kind of what I've used for a long time, and they're the easiest to set up and use and all that fun stuff. So they're adding a bunch of liquidity right now here. So that's obviously acting as resistance. You can see that liquidity now is sitting at 67. So you gotta obviously be reading the book map. You know, we saw that 70 liquidity. Well, look, they came in there and added all this liquidity there at 66. Like I said, low volume right now. It's not hard to make the market move. If I was wanting to get rid of 100 contracts right now, I could pretty much move the market down. Obviously I'm not promoting manipulation, but with that low volume on a Sunday afternoon, it's definitely not hard to move the market. When you get your payouts, do you just leave enough in the account for drawdown? So you can only withdraw 50% out of the funded account for the first basically 30 profitable days. And then after that, you can withdraw 100%. So, I mean, you're always, you're going to have 50% basically left in there. So if you make $10,000, you'll be able to withdraw $5,000. So, yeah, that's the kicker. The kicker, my friend. I need your love. I'm excited. There's gonna be, like I said, a lot like this. FOMC week is always, it's one of those weeks where you're either gonna make a lot of money or you're gonna fucking blow up, baby. You gotta love it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like you're excited. You're like, oh, I'm excited, right? Like I'm excited, but then you're kind of like, oh fuck, I might lose a lot too. Oh, you gotta love it. FOMC week, baby. Interest rate decisions. So both the ES and the NASDAQ getting stuck there now. You can see the little fake out there on the ES pulling back. Welcome to Sunday night afternoon. Sunday afternoon action. Low volume. A lot of chop. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how she goes. Cotton Eye Joe. I want to show you guys this. So this is Express funded account with Topstep. You can see that I started this one July 17th, right? So July 17th, basically in the Express funded account. And right now, my best day in this account was $5,194. My worst day, $3,000. My average winning day, $3,000 there on this account. So the way that it works now is basically I paid, you know, $150 for this $150,000 account. I passed the combine in, what was it, 4 days. And then now after what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, so a total of 9, what is that? Yeah, 9 days, I made basically $10,000. I would then be able to withdraw basically $5,000 at this point. So I'll be able to withdraw $5,000 at this point. Not the best win-loss ratio, but see, the big problem for me with my average winning trade is I have a lot of break-even trades. So it definitely kind of plays against me when it comes to my average winning trade. You know, my largest winning trade was 5,000, and that last Tuesday there in that account, not the prettiest. This was that what was that? That was on the 18th. That was I think it was literally a day where I just forgot that I had a position open in this account and I didn't close it out, and I was in the money and then didn't close it out, and then I got stopped out on that account. But it is what it is. But you can still see making $10,000 here in this account. So I would be able to withdraw basically $5,000 this week. And I'm able to trade 15 contracts inside of this express funded account. So, and yeah, just showing you guys kind of the process here with Topstep and how she works. So, like here, basically going through the combine, right? Went through the combine, started, that was on the July 11th, started the combine, this combine here. July 14th, it ended, funded, and then on, what was it, the 18th? Yeah. Wait. Which one was it? I got too many. Yeah, July 14th, and then into the express funded account there on the 17th. So yeah, I think that was what, a Friday, and then the 17th, yeah. So basically what I need is I need 5 winning days of $200 or more to take a withdrawal. So basically spending $150, one reset. So a total investment of what? Let's say $300 total, plus the activation fee, by the way, sorry. So let's say a total investment of $400. I have now made $10,000. So basically $10,470, and my profit being $10,000 on $400 investment into the account there. So that's kind of how it works. The benefits of trading through Topstep. You basically get to use somebody else's money to make money. Do you have to have a Trade-Evade account first for Topstep, or is it part of the combine? It is part of the combine. I am not shorting here. I'm not taking a trade right now. I'm probably gonna wait just till tomorrow morning for Mega Money Mondays. I wouldn't want to get short right here just because this low volume chop right here. This could kind of just push back up. So I want to be careful. I don't want to start out the week on a red day. I like making money, not losing money. I like making money. Easy money, not hard money. There is liquidity on the book map down there at the 42s, though. A lot of liquidity up there at the 65s. You got 39 contracts at 65. You got a bunch of liquidity down there at the 42s. You do not have to buy their data package for the express funded account or the combine. So I saw somebody said that the data is expensive. I mean, I made $10,000. If I make $10,000, do I really care about the data expense at that point? I don't know. Do you add 2 zeros at the end of the contracts on level 2? No. You don't. So the actual amount of contracts on the NASDAQ here, those are the actual amount of contracts. It's not like trading, you know, penny stocks where you see 10 and it means that there's, you know, 1,000 there. It actually just means that there's actually 10 contracts. So, yeah, just pretty low volume right now. Not much commitment here from the market. The dollar kind of pushing up here. So the dollar gapped down this morning. That's why the NASDAQ kind of squeezed up there. And now the dollar is kind of breaking out and pushing back up here. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said before, like the deal right now with Topstep being so cheap, I'm like, people are like, oh man, I don't know. Like, this is honestly like the deal right now is so cheap. It don't get any cheaper in terms of like this deal with Topstep. Like Topstep's never been this cheap before. The normal price of the $150,000 account is $375. Normally, it's $149. They've also only got the one rule. So, I mean, I literally went and bought like, I think 6 combine accounts because I was like, hey, I'd rather just fucking have them stockpiled up, go hard in the paint. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I haven't been trying to go hard in the paint because I do. You know, I talked about this the other day on the stream. It's like, I could 100% at this point in my trading career, you know, I fully believe that I could consistently make $1,000 a day. Like, no doubt in my mind. You know, $2,000 a day, no doubt. But the problem is, like, you know, I want to get to a point where I'm putting, you know, 20,000, 30,000. I would love it sounds crazy. It's me being greedy 100%, right? Like, I'm being greedy. I want $50,000 in one day. But that's where I want to be. And the only way I'm going to get to $50,000 in one day is by taking risk. Like, you can't make $50,000 in one day trading with the mindset that you're happy with $1,000. Like, you just can't do that, right? Like, if your daily goal is $1,000 in profit, like, there's no way you're ever going to get to a point where you're going to make $50,000 in one day. And I'm not, like, nobody watches the video. I'm not telling you that you should trade with the idea of making $50,000 in one day. By no means. But me personally, Patrick fucking Wieland, the #1 day trader on YouTube, that's my goal right now. Like, I want to put that $50,000 fucking P&L up on the live stream and just be like, I want to see it go from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 and then be like, boom, boom, you know? So, like I said, I was not trying to get short down there at the bottom. I'm happy about that. Hopefully I saved whoever asked me about shorting down here at the 50s. Hopefully I saved you from shorting down there. Why 50 when you could do 100K? Well, let's just make 50K first, my little friend. We've made 10,000. You know, the goal a year ago was make a year ago my goal was to make 10,000. My next goal is to make 50. The goal after that's to make 100. The goal after that is to have that $1 million day. You know, at some point it's coming. That fucking $1 million day is coming, baby. My highest day yet with everything was around 30,000 in one day. But that was multiple accounts as well. So, like, I would really like to put up a $50,000 day on one account. Like, I think that would be like, okay, like, that's like, you a badass. You putting up $50,000 live on YouTube. That's where I'm trying to get to. So, and like I said, by no means am I condoning anyone else out there telling you that you need to make $50,000 in a day. Like, that is not what this is about. I just personally, you know, as who I am, what I'm doing right now, like, that's just my personal goal. Do I think Topstep will ever do this deal again in the future? I mean, could not say, my friend. Can't really say. How do you get out of the gambling mindset? Well, I think the best thing to do is you gotta size down. You gotta fucking be consistent. Small size, baby. Small size. Small size. Stop trying to hit those home run trades. And obviously I can't really speak because clearly I'm over here trying to hit home run trades, but I have a different business, right? Like my YouTube, it's, you know, I don't rely solely off of trading to survive. So you know, for me, it's like, I'm okay taking the risk. I can take the risk. You know, my rent's going to be paid either way. I'm going to have food in my fridge no matter what. But I would not suggest for somebody out there who's just like broke and has $500 to their name to go take a big risk on a trade. Have I thought about trading a bigger personal account to trade bigger size? Yeah. I mean, I've traded 30, 40 contracts in my personal account. I've done it 100%. It's just really, really hard to hold. Like, it's putting on 30 contracts, 40 contracts, and then holding. Like, it moves so quickly. Like, all of a sudden you're up $3,000 in a matter of 1 second. And then you're back to fucking negative 3,000. And then you're back to break even. And then you're up 5,000. It's fucking wild. I think I did it a little prematurely. I definitely did it a little prematurely. Needed to slow down. I got a little too cocky. Your trades are very consistent, targeting 50 points on average, leaving a runner once in a while. Yeah, I mean, the whole runner thing, it's at, you know, that's an argument that you can anyone, you know, people love to make. They're like, Patrick, just leave a runner. Leave a runner on, Patrick. And I'm like, I don't know. Leave a runner on. I don't know. Do I recommend trading the NASDAQ or the ES? I would say the ES is the better option for most traders. If you're just like, if you're looking to be consistent and you're not an expert day trader and you're not looking to, you know, and you're just looking to trade like just pure price action, I would say the ES is the better option. The NASDAQ's a lot quicker to do fake outs, a lot quicker to do ups and downs, like just out of nowhere. It's more like, you definitely get a lot more like fake outs with the NASDAQ. So I would say, you know, don't go chasing waterfalls, my friends. Just because Patrick Wieland does it, don't mean you can do it. All right. But believe that. Do as I say, not as I do. Little word of wisdom there. I do obviously, I understand the gravity of my influence, right? Like, there's people that watch my live stream and they see me doing crazy stuff, like putting on 15 contracts, buying breakouts, you know, all this stuff that I do. And I want people to understand, like, what I am, the way that I trade is not conducive to a new trader. You know, like, I'm not telling anyone to trade large size. Don't go for home run trades. But I've been doing this for 7 years now. I've been trading for 7 fucking years, right? Like, once you've traded for 7 years, then come talk to me. Then we'll have this discussion. But until then, just focus it. Ricardo, so are you going to trade or not? I don't know. Fuck you. Get out of here, banned. Just people, like, what do you think? I owe you something, Ricardo? Like, I'm live on the internet and I owe you, like, hey, Patrick, you must put on a trade. Ricardo requires that you trade right now. The fuck out of here. It's Sunday, people. Can't we just, like, you know, like, relax and just talk about trading and just look at the charts for a little bit? God. I mean, do I really want to trade this right now? Look at this. Look at this price action. I don't know, man. This looks a little, I don't know. Look at this. Huh. What should I do? What should I do here? I don't know. Trust me, I would love for the market to start going straight up 100 points and me to jump in on a trade. Like, people thinking that like I don't want to place a trade. Like, oh, Patrick doesn't. He just wants to talk. Like, I would love to just fucking get an amazing setup right here and we get a trade. Like, that would be the best possible thing in the world, right? Like, I'd be very excited about that happening. I would just be very, very excited, but it's not that fucking simple. I can't make the market move. Big T, game changer, trading on the 250 tick chart. Just be careful, Big T. 250 tick chart sometimes gets a little wild. It's a little wild, my friend. Here's the issue. Like, I will say, if you're trading on the tick chart, you're trading on that small 250, 500 tick chart, like, just make sure that you keep an eye on the 15-minute chart, right? Like, that's one thing that I love. Like, I always like to keep the 15-minute chart. Like, I like to keep an eye on it, right? Because that way, if I'm zoomed in on, like, the 250 tick chart and I'm, like, really zoomed in on it, like, I want to make sure that I'm not like, oh, my God, it's breaking out, right? And then I get, like, I'm so focused on the small time frame. And then I look up and I'm like, oh, fuck, I just bought right at resistance. Because that's the issue. Like, when you get so zoomed in on a small time frame, sometimes you just, like, you're too focused on it. I think that that's been an issue for me sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, look, it's gonna break, and then all of a sudden it's like, and I look at the 15-minute chart and I'm like, oh fuck, it's not going anywhere actually. Bad idea this was, Like, if you like, I just think, oh, why is all my shit fucked up? Oh my, this thing is, I was filming some videos over the weekend. Everything's all fucked up right now. All right, so like, let's say like right now I'm like looking here at this, really small time frame, and I'm like, oh, looks like it's gonna break out. Oh my God, it's gonna push back up here. And then I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, we're still below the VWAP. We're still not looking that hot. Look at the bigger time frames. That would be like my one piece of advice for anybody that's sometimes, if you get too zoomed in on the market and you're not focused on what the actual like higher time frames are doing, you can really kind of fuck yourself. I've done that too many times to count. Like, I 100%, I will admit to you guys, I might, sit here all day long and say that I'm the best trader in the world, blah, blah, blah. But like, I still do stupid shit, like 100%. So, and I'm the first one to admit it. So that's like the issue sometimes. If you're looking at this small time frame, you're like, oh, like you're so zoomed in on it, like, oh, look, it's about to break out. Like, you buy this fucking breakout right here. Like, let's say you bought like this little pushback over 56 right here, and you're not focused on the bigger time frame. Then you go to the big time frame, you're like, oh, never mind, not so good. So that's the 5-minute chart. Like even on the 1-minute chart, you're kind of like, oh, not too hot. So you just want to be careful. I do like the tick charts really, because the tick chart, when the market is moving, like if we're getting actual like movements, you're going to get a lot more action. Like, you're going to get a lot more candles printing. So that's, every single candle itself is representing, 200. This is the 100 tick chart. So each candle itself is representing, 100 transactions, 100 transactions, 100 transactions there. So, we want to be able to look at that and be like, hey, look, when the market's going quicker, it's moving quick, and it's moving. And then it gets stuck here again. So when the market's not moving, the candles aren't printing as fast. you'll see like when the market's really, really moving quickly, the 100 tick chart, the 200 tick chart will just be like, it's like constant motion. Like it's not stopping. It's new candle, new candle, new candle, new candle, new candle, and popping. So I put on a little trade here, just a little earlier, right at open, just for a quick 1300 there. There's a little pop up. It's looking for that push up there to the 70s that we got. So. Yeah, what else we got? We got any more questions? What time do the algos typically run for overnight futures? I don't do the, I mean, who fucking know? The algos? Let me call them real quick. Hey, algos, what time you running? What time you gonna start running? Best tick chart, I would say for the NASDAQ, probably like 500 ticks. For the ES, 1,000 tick chart. Or maybe, this depends. If there's a lot of volume, you can trade. If there's not a lot of volume, you can go down to like the 250 tick chart on the NASDAQ and then go to the 500 tick chart on the ES. There's always going to be more volume on the ES. Like always more volume on the ES compared to the NASDAQ. So you can run with, you know, I've traded the 2,000 tick chart before for the ES. Because if there's a lot of volume, like you don't really need to go small down, you know. Sammy, you signed up for the deal for the Express Fund account. You'll get an email tomorrow saying that you got activated. Once they activate your account, you'll be able to check it out there. The crypto shop. What did crypto shop ask? Nathan Ford, what indicators am I using? This is actually the Market Flow Trader indicator right now on the screen. This is exclusive for Market Flow Trader members. One of our members actually built this, wrote this for us. Pretty cool. We got all the pivot points, the VWAP, the breakouts. We got the open and close, the gap, and all that fun stuff there. But then if I'm not using this chart, then I'm normally using the Lux Algo Premium Concepts as well. So that's kind of this chart right here. So this is kind of my go-to higher time frame chart. The Lux Algo Premium Action Price Action Concepts Premium. Do I look at the CVD divergences on the book map? The only thing that I look at on the book map is where liquidity is. It's all I look at. It's literally like, that's the only thing I look at. I don't look at anything else, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'll be looking like, you know, I look at the pure price action, but I'm not looking at any other indicators on here. I might look a little bit at the session volume profile, but in general, I'm kind of looking like, let's say I'm buying a breakout. I want to see bubbles. I want to see volume. I want to see momentum, right? You can clearly see momentum moving on the book map. So that's why, like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see momentum visually displayed. And I talk about it a lot, like during the live stream, like, hey, I want to see this area break right through here. Because I want to see that momentum coming in there. Would you trade the range chart? I've never traded the range chart, so I'm not sure. Do I know Lambo Raoul? No, I fucking know he's a tool. What is your question? I asked you 1,000,000 times. Do you know Lambo Raoul? The fuck? God. Do I use the 50 and 200 EMA? I do not. Chris Martingale, can you talk more about liquidity? So like right now, wherever there's hot spots, right? Wherever there's darker colors at, that's where there's more sellers sitting at. Those are orders. 76 contracts sitting there at the 70s. 68 to 70 level. So if we know that there's one simple idea with trading, what is the purpose of the stock market? The purpose of the market is to facilitate trades between buyers and sellers. The market itself does not care. The actual market, the NASDAQ, does not care if it goes up or if it goes down. The only pure purpose of the market is to facilitate trades, to facilitate buyers and sellers. So if there's a massive seller at a level, well, I would say, I'm not going to say all the time, but there's a good chance that the market likes to kind of push up to that level to try to facilitate a trade. You think about it if you go to a fucking, I don't know, if you go somewhere like a swap meet, or if you go to a flea market and you got a buyer who's trying to buy some fucking tires. You got a seller who's trying to sell some tires. Well, if some guy's got a bunch of tires for sale at the flea market, there's probably going to be a lot of people trying to go to that guy to maybe buy some fucking tires. So it's just supply and demand. The market is moving based on supply and demand. There's a big supply area. Well, market just kind of wants to move up there to see if there's supply or not, There's a hot spot at Starbucks by your house. Cool, dude. Good story. Good story. Congratulations. Congratulations. My best trade last week, I took one $5,000 really good short. I thought was pretty good. Just we were looking at the levels, the book map levels. I think that's one of the things that I can really work on as a trader personally is just being able to have more confidence in the book map, right? How many times have we especially when the market's open, we see a big level, we see that level down there on the book map, here, we see a big level, maybe, okay, we're at 42, the market's moving down, we see it there, but we're maybe let's say it goes to 50 here. And then I'm I take profit. I'm getting out. And what happens? It bounces off 50 and then I'm okay, that was great. But then all of a sudden it's it breaks through 50 and goes right to the 42s. So that's something that I could really work on personally, is being able to have more confidence in the fact that I know, I need to believe, right? I talk about the liquidity levels, but I need to believe. If I'm in a trade and let's say I'm up $3,000 and I'm sitting here and I'm I think this is going to go to 42. If I believe it's going to go to 42, I need to be able to hold, right? Because we talk about this all the time. How many times when you're in a trade and you're losing, let's say you're down $1,000 and your stop loss is I don't know, $1,500 loss. How many times do you cut off that loser early? How many times? I would say majority of the time, nobody cuts off their losers early. I don't care anyone I'm guaranteeing that most traders never cut off their losers early. Right? Never. It's so easy to hold on to those losers because you're hoping, you're praying, you're well, I hope it goes back to break even. Right? I just hope it does. So, I think if you're not going to cut off your losers early, well, then you can't cut off your winners early. If you have a plan, if you have a goal, if you go into a trade and you're all right, I'm going to risk $1,000 to get a move up here to the 65s, that's got to be the plan. You just obviously you can adjust it a little bit, but you can't just jump in, be up $300 and then just take profit. I'm out. I'm in. I'm out. That's got to be something to really focus on. And that's something that I really need to focus on. If I'm in a trade and I have my target, I'm not going to say every single time I take a trade, my target gets hit, but I'm going to say pretty much every time I take a trade, my target normally gets hit. I would say at least 90% of the time. you guys, if you're watching the live streams, like, not to say that you have to like vouch for me, but I think a lot of people out there would be like, yeah, you're kind of right, Patrick. We see it. You know, I take profit early. The market moves that level anyway. And I'm like, fuck. Like, why? Why did I take profit? So I think that's really something that I just need to work on. Because here's the thing is like, if I'm giving up, you know, 10 points, 5 points, whatever it is, like, that's a lot of money that I'm not capitalizing on. And especially if we take a trade and we're right about the price action, we're right about the move, and I take profit early, all I'm doing is a disservice to myself. I'm just hurting myself, right? I'm not doing what I need to do. So that's like the biggest thing going into this week. I'm not going to be greedy by any means, but if I see a level, if I'm like, hey, I think we're going to go to the VWAP. Hey, I think we're going to go here. Like, I need to be able to at least like see it through. Like, I need to see it through. I need to believe in like that I have an edge here, that I have a process, that I believe that I can get there. Because me taking profit because I'm up $2,000, I'm out. Like, that's just stupid. That's just silly at that point. It's just silly. Silly. I see your timing your trade's good. Your entries just have no drawdown sometimes. How do you know if the push has enough power? I mean, that's why we trade when we trade. The early morning, those breakouts, you're going to get those moves. Like, very rarely do we get failed breakouts in the morning. You know, very rarely. You might get fake outs when we're breaking through, like, maybe, you know, certain highs and resistance, things like that. But, like, if we're sitting here, like, let's say right now, like, this is, like, you know, 9:45 in the morning, and we're about to break out here, very rarely would a breakout fail when you're trading at the right time of day. You know, the middle of the day, certain time, you know, overnight, things like that. Yeah, the breakouts don't work. But if the momentum's coming in there, we're bouncing, we're showing strength. Like, that's why we trade when we trade. That 9:30 to 11:30 time slot, like, that's when you're going to get the moves. More consistent moves. The rest of the day, middle of the day, it gets more choppy. You don't really know for sure. It's also like, here's the thing too. Like, let's say we have a bull flag, right? Let's say this is my drawing here. Let's say all right, got a bull flag here. All right, so market pushes up, we pull back into this bull flag. All right, we put in that kind of lower high right here. This is our lower high. We're looking for a push. All right, if we get that break, okay, we push. You know, we got long right there. We look for this next move up. We push. There's resistance right here. We kind of push up into there. We hit that resistance, and then we pull back. Okay, that's great. But here's the thing, right? At a certain point, like, we're going to get a deeper pullback. Okay, look, we push up through that resistance again. Like, at what point, okay, we had our break. We had one. We took that trade. At a certain point, this move is going to want to do one of these. Like, it's going to want to come back more. It's going to be a failed breakout. So we really want to make sure we capitalize off those first, you know, few breakouts. We want to make sure that if we're seeing these setups, that we're taking the trades that are there, that we're not waiting. Like, we're not sitting here going, I'm not going to take this trade. I'm not going to take this trade. Oh, I'm going to take this trade right here, try to break above here. Like, that's the one that I want. So you missed out on one good entry here. You missed out on this good entry here. You waited. You finally, like, you've convinced yourself that you're going to buy up here. And guess what? The next move happens. Woo! It drops down. So being aware of that, I think, is very powerful as well. Like, if you're going to be buying these breakouts, you got to be looking at it like, hey, at a certain point, these breakouts ain't going to be so strong. Like, here's a great example on Friday. All right. So Friday, you know, what's the trade here? We got the little breakout. We got the VWAP here. So we got this breakout here. Let's say we get long here off the 81s. We take this push up into the VWAP. We take profit. Great. Awesome. Well, then we like get this move up here. Maybe let's say we got long right here off the 30s. It pushes up. Great. Awesome. And then here's our kind of third pullback to the VWAP. You know, our bread and butter. We love the VWAP bounce. We get long here off the 21s. We take profit up here into the 50s. But here's the issue, right? Look at this. If you didn't take a trade off the VWAP here because you weren't convinced it was going to move higher, like, is this a better spot to get long at? Like, do I really want to get long here on this pullback? when I could have gone long right here? Like, ask yourself that before you jump into the trade. Ask yourself, like, hey, like, am I jumping into this trade now because I'm just like, I got FOMO? Do I have FOMO and that's why I'm jumping in? Am I only getting into this trade now because I have FOMO? Like, is that why? Or am I jumping into it because I think it's a good trade? Well, I would say this is like nothing but FOMO, right? Like, this is a very FOMO trade because you missed out basically on the beautiful bounce off the VWAP breakout. And now you're like, well, I'm jumping in here. And guess what? It pushes up, it fakes out, and then it pulls right back down there. Also, look what time it was, middle of the day there, 2 o'clock, expected kind of setup there. So you really got to think, like, we had one good breakout here. Maybe we get that second one here. There's a third one. There's a fourth one. It's like, oh, by the fifth breakout, like, do I still want to be getting crazy? So you really got to, like, I think that's like I talk about that on the live stream sometimes. Like, if I see a setup and I don't take the setup because I'm not convinced that it's a good setup. Like, if I'm not convinced that I want to buy this breakout off of the VWAP here, well, then why the fuck am I going to buy up here? Like, that's just, you're just playing with fire. Maybe it works. Maybe it goes higher. But like, if I didn't take this trade, when we push through resistance here, we push through the VWAP, we bounce off the VWAP. Like, if I don't take this trade, like, why am I going to take this trade? And that's nothing but FOMO. Like, that's literally just FOMO up here at the top. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally just FOMO. That's all that is. So that's the really like important thing about if you're going to trade momentum, you're going to trade breakouts, you're going to trade, the market moving. Well, you got to trade when the market's fucking moving, my friends. Like, you got to jump in when the fucking market's moving. Can't sit here and be like, oh, I'm not going to buy here. I'm not going to buy here. I'm definitely not going to buy here. And then be like, I'm going to buy here. I'm going to buy at the top. This is a great idea. I want to get long at the top. What a great place to buy. It sounds so great. No. How many times can the price hit the VWAP before breaking? 100 times? I don't know, 5 times, 1 time. Sometimes it doesn't even hit it. It just goes right through it. So, yeah, I mean, it's that there's no rule on how many times it'll touch the VWAP. Hi, Patrick. Your thoughts on waiting until 10 a.m. to take a trade? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, my friend. Like, don't feel like you have to trade, at 9:30. There's nothing wrong with waiting until 10 o'clock. Nothing wrong. So I would say the 15-minute range breakout, like, honestly, the 15-minute range, like, that would be the setup that you're like, this is the Friday 15-minute range breakout setup here. Like, look at how beautifully this played out. I mean, this was like, oh, it's fucking money. I mean, look at that. So basically, this is our 15-minute range, opening range right here. This is the Market Flow Trader Community Membership free indicator for members that basically charts your opening range on the 15-minute candle. We're on the 1-minute chart right now. You can see at 9:41, we bounced off there. So we push back up here. At 9:48, we break through that opening range candle. And look at how beautifully this played out. We got below the VWAP. We then turn the opening range, the bottom of that 15-minute candle, into what? Into resistance. Multiple times, multiple times breaking, basically tapping that. We're below the VWAP. We're below the pivot. I mean, I would say this is a textbook, just absolutely beautiful setup, and it's very simple. Like, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to trade this, right? Like, you literally just wait for that opening range break up or break down. That's all you do. Like, you just wait. You're waiting, and then all of a sudden, look at it. We break to the downside. We turn it into a resistance. What? That's a 50-point move to the downside. Fucking 80-point move to the downside. Like, Huh. 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 How do you know if it's the right time or not? Well, you never really know, I guess. Time of the day or time of the trade or whatever. Nathan 4, I like it. No boo, you gotta put a reward on hitting your stop loss, baby. I like it. So yeah, that 15-minute range, I think it's just a really solid type of setup, you know, for a new beginner day trader. This is on Thursday of last week. 15-minute range. Guess what? Look at the 15-minute range. It took 30 minutes to break to the downside. But again, look, we got stuck up here. I mean, we pretty like little tap above it for a second and got denied. We got below the VWAP here. We get below the 15-minute range. Guess what? We turn the 15-minute range into resistance. We got that pivot point right there. This was what? From the 828s down there to the 700s. That's a 120-point move on that 15-minute range. 120 points. Do not trade with RSI. If you anybody asking about RSI, get the fuck out. Just stop with the RSI shit. Right now, I'm telling you, stop with the RSI. Do not. I'm telling you, I will give you one piece of advice, and please do me one favor. Never fucking use RSI. Get rid of it. Get rid of RSI divergence. Get rid of fucking cumulative delta. Get rid of all that bullshit. Literally, guys, get fucking rid of it. RSI is the biggest fucking, it's so bad. It'll make you lose so much money. And I'm telling you from experience, the RSI is bullshit. It is bullshit. It's bullshit. The cumulative delta, bullshit. It's bullshit. All of that shit's bullshit. Every fucking indicator is bullshit at the end of the day, other than the VWAP, other than the pivot points, other than, I mean, that's literally all you need. I don't care what anyone says. Pivot points, VWAP, everything else is bullshit. The pivot points, the reason that the pivot points aren't bullshit, you want to know why? Because the pivot points never fucking change. Like, think about that. Like, literally, the pivot points are there all day. We wake up in the morning, we see the pivot points on the chart, and that's exactly, like, that's all we have, right? Like, that's literally all we even think, like, it's there. You put the fucking pivot points on there, and that's, like, it's over. Like, there's no more need to do anything else. You know? Like, you don't have to fucking, there's no, like, pivot points don't change. They're sitting there. The market opens, the pivot points are there. They're not lagging. They're not going up. They're not moving. They're not changing throughout the day. They are there on the fucking chart all day long. They're the only thing. It's rock solid. The pivot points are 100% rock fucking solid. The VWAP is volume weighted average price. The reason that the VWAP is better than the EMA, it's better than any moving average, is because it's volume weighted. Right? It's volume weighted. So volume is what moves the market. It's the market going up and down is moving the EMAs. It's moving the moving averages. But the VWAP doesn't move without volume. If there's no volume, the VWAP's not going to move. So, like, those two things right there alone, the pivot point and the fucking VWAP, that's what all you got to worry about. Like, look right now. Look at the VWAP's doing. It's just sitting there. It ain't going nowhere. It's literally just going sideways. Because the VWAP's like, I ain't moving. There's no volume. What about the fib? The fib is not an indicator. The Fibonacci is just like, that's just mathematical, similar to the, pivot points. Pivot points also, it's all just math. The market moves based on algorithmic mathematical equations. Is there a pivot point indicator on Tradevate? Yes. My thoughts on the Fibonacci. I mean, like I said, I think the Fibonacci, it's just, the Fibonacci is just price action, a way to look at price action. That's all that is. Like if you look like look at this move here on Friday, right? Like, so we go from the top of this move to the bottom of this move. We get a 50% retracement. Is that rocket science? Like, is it rocket science? I don't think it's really rocket science. I mean, it's just fucking like, well, pretty just normal price action. Like that's all it is, really. The MACD, people, you gotta understand the moving average convergence, divergence. The MACD is just simply the moving averages. You know, that's all the MACD is. So I wouldn't say the MACD is total bullshit, but the problem is the MACD is definitely lagging because again, it's a moving average. It's looking at all the moving averages. That's the MACD. The RSI though is just total bullshit. I don't care what anyone says. Like I would call out anybody on YouTube who tells me that the RSI is fucking the end all be all. Like I guarantee they're fucking idiots. Like all the RSI is going to do is either get you into a bad trade or keep you out of a good trade. Because I've seen so many times with futures where the market's been overbought and it's only gone higher and higher and higher and higher. And then I've seen days where the market's oversold and it's only gone lower and lower and lower. And then you get days where the RSI ain't doing shit in the market. You know, it's just like get me excited. But yes, at the end of the day, price action is king. Put the fucking VWAP on there. Put the lines like right now. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna get long as we're below this trend line? Nope. No, you ain't. No reason to. You don't need an indicator to tell you like, hey, there's a trend line right here, right? Like, hey, I probably don't need to get long until what? Until we get above this trend line. Until then, like, well, I just keep going lower. We saw that area earlier there at the 42s. Market's just kind of chopping sideways now. So there it is. Why aren't your friends and family begging to sit beside you and follow along? You don't think they are? You don't think they aren't? I get fucking messages and people, I get people like literally every day. I'll pay to sit by you. I'll pay to learn from you. So, I mean, those same people, like, they're not going to make it. Even my dad asked me. My dad's like, you think I could day trade? I'm like, no, you can't. Just keep doing what you're doing. I got people literally on Instagram that are like, I'll pay you $5,000 to let me come watch you trade. What is that gonna do for me? But yeah, I mean, it's just this whole like I talked about earlier on the video, you know, the biggest issue is that basically everybody, you know, has an opinion on what works, what doesn't work. But at the end of the day, there is no argument. Price action is fucking king. You know, price action is fucking king. Go watch the video from earlier if you haven't. Hit that like button as well. We got 226 likes, and we got a little bit more likes on the stream. I think I'm ready to go eat some dinner and enjoy the last little bit of Sunday and get ready for Mega Money Mondays. Got to wake up in the morning, do a little workout, get the pre-workout pumping. We got a lot of action this week, my friends. Topstep right now. I think this is the last week of the 70% discount right now with Topstep. So if you want to sign up for Topstep, you can sign up tonight. You can sign up tonight, my friends, and start trading tomorrow morning. We'll be here live on YouTube, 9:15 a.m. The $50,000 account is $49. The $100,000 account is $99. You can sign up today. Come join us tomorrow morning. We'll be doing it live on YouTube. We got a lot of action, a lot of stuff going on. So the deal with Topstep deleting the Fridays P&L, that is not that they fixed that. So that's not even a deal. I don't know why, to be honest, like, I don't know why people, like, yeah, it was fixed. It's all good. It was not deleted. It's all good. Everything is fine. There were no issues. By the end of the day on Friday, they fixed all the problems. So I think the problem was somebody went on Twitter and posted that when they should have just like let the customer service and let the people handle it and fix the problem, not like make it a huge issue. Not that it wasn't a huge issue, but I think it was just like, it didn't need to like go on social media and become this huge fucking problem. Like, let's just like, let's fix the problem instead of like making more problems. So yeah, you know, trade of 8, whatever, it's done. So Topstep fixed it. Everybody's good. No problems. We're back to business. Mega Money Mondays, almost down there to the 42s now. We got to the 43s. We saw that 42 level there earlier on the book map. And there it is. I will see you guys tomorrow morning live on YouTube, 9:15 a.m. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace to the Middle East. Hopefully you enjoyed a little Sunday afternoon talk. We didn't get a lot of trades in, but hey, yeah, hopefully we helped out some people at least avoid the... Hey, if you watch this live stream and you're still using the RSI, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you, all right? That's what I feel. I'm going to pray for you tonight. I'm going to say, hey, all the people out there using RSI, I hope they stop using RSI. I just hope they stop using RSI, little baby Jesus. Please, little baby Jesus, will you just let them see the light? See the price action. Stop trading the RSI, man. Stop it. Just stop it. God, I'm gonna get, maybe you think, oh God, what if the creator of the RSI sues me for false information? I'm gonna get a cease and desist from the creator of the RSI. Hello, this is Mr. Joe Bob and Bobby Bob. I created the RSI and I think you're lying to people. Well, I don't know. Been doing this long enough to know that at the end of the day, there's a lot of bullshit out there. And there is only one thing that really matters, and that's price action, my friends. If the candles are going up, the candles are going down, just fucking trade them. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Mega Money Monday!